All right. So the key here, pay attention now, okay? You can talk later, all evening. Regular and reverse shading. So regular shading means that the true region is shaded, and on the reverse shading, it's the opposite, right? So the true is actually here. So if it's because the true is below, it has to be less than, it's dashed, and my slope is actually 3, 1. 3, 1, 3, 1, it just keeps on going positive. My y-intercept is -2 here. And so that's what it ends up being. And some of you are saying, wait a minute, isn't this, Mr. Dirksen, is this half, 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 so it's 1.5 over half? You still get 3 over 1. If you divide, if you use your calculator, it still works out. So I do know what I'm doing. I'm just, yeah, go ahead. And then this one here, greater than or equal to, because it's solid. The slope, some of you are flipping the 3 and the 4. So I made that note of that. So it's rise and run. And the negative needed to be there. So that's -4 over 3 plus 5. Good? Moving on. You know what? This one, I must say, I think overall, I was happy. Like there's some little things maybe here and there, but look at how I highlighted this on my key, because I make sure you divide by negative and you flip the sign. So you know what? I think you're overall you're one of the best groups when it comes to this ever. So you're doing good, but don't let that be too comfortable and forget about it. Maybe it's just because I'm emphasizing it more. Maybe that's what it is. So you have your intercept. Okay, listen carefully. I am going to look for, the intercepts and then telling me where you're shading. All of that has to be consistent throughout the whole thing. You can't tell me that you're shading below here and then you go on the line and you're shading above, right? Like that's going to be a problem for me. And so you got to be consistent. And I think some of you you definitely need to update your study sheet on telling yourself that if it's X, that it's a vertical, if it's Y, it's a horizontal, definitely. And the shading left versus right, when it's a vertical, you need to make sure you look that up, okay? Or you add it to your study sheet. And then the corner points were here. Overall, well done. Some of you just quit after trying it with one. It's like, hey, it works for one, works for all. Not really. It could not be. It's not how it works exactly. You need to check with all of them and making sure that. And some of you are maybe thrown off by the last one. There's only an X. Yeah, you got the X value at that point. Forget about the Y value and still check. Okay. Got to be one thing that I'm giving you a heads up. If this had been -9 and -9 here, then it's false, right? Like it has to be. If it had an equal as well, then it's okay. But it cannot be equal unless there's an equal sign associated with the inequality. So that was that. 14 marks that first page. Solution region was labeled well for the most part. And then the backside was the word problem. Right? A lot of you did this very well. This had to be there. If not, you can rat out your classmates. You can come and tell me, hey, so-and-so, you didn't take half a mark off. And I'll do that. I'll get you on their bad side. And then we had the 3 inequalities. One was related to the space, and that has to be less than, right, the maximum. The other one was related to how much money you have to feed the livestock there. And then you had to have at least 5 cows. So that's a vertical line again. So that was haunting you, right? And the rest is history, right? The rest is, It's just work, 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 right? And knowing how to do that quickly and efficiently. And I ran out of room a little bit, but I'm still telling myself, see, some of you are dropping the solid part. Yes, word problems, like I told you, 99% of the time, it was a solid line, but it's still keeping it consistent with everything we're doing, right? So you don't forget when it's a non-contextual case. And so the solution region ends up being this here, this polygon down here, if you do this correctly. And then you read off the corner points, right? I can read this, I can read that. These two you need to use your calculator for. And you need it to round because we're talking discrete. So I was looking for the rounded to whole values there. So overall, I think basically what I'm going to tell you, if you didn't do so well, maybe try this again. Try this, cover it up and try it again. See if you can come up with it and do better second time around. Okay. I still want to do at least get you started on 2 questions. So I know we're tight on time. So this is what I'm going to do. Just read through the question and set up our inequalities. And you can do the graphing and that on your own time. I will do it tomorrow, but I'm just saying I kind of want you to give it a try today.